Hi, this is Madeline from Sonic Bloom with a brand new episode of With a Little Help from Max for Life. And this time I have a bit of a special edition for you because recently a new pack was released at the Ableton Pack section called Stray Cats Collection. And this is a collaboration between Ableton, Sonic Bloom and Max for Cats. It contains 8 Max for Life devices, 2 step sequencers, so MIDI effects, 2 synths and 4 audio effects, and it can be downloaded in the Ableton Pack section for free. But it requires either Live 10 Standard with Max for Life or Live 10 Suite. So, and I have built a live set that contains pretty much only the devices from the Stray Cats collection, plus a simpler with a kick inside, and I'm going to show you a little bit of what this pack is about. And so here on the first track we have the SQ8, which is a step sequencer, then the MSII, which is a synth, and the Burbot Ron is an audio effect. It's currently turned off, so let's just listen to what we've got now. Right, so both the SQ8 and the MSII are part of the MSII synthesizer system, and the SQ8 is an analog style step sequencer with 8 steps, as the name already suggests. It's pretty straightforward. You can set the different steps, like the note, you can set the octave velocity, and you can also set parameters that can be mapped and changed with each step. They can be mapped to any parameter in the live set. I'm going to come back to that. You can also randomize the pitch, octave, velocity, and the mapping parameters. And then, you can have the play directions, time and swing as usual. You can set the scale. You can choose if you can transpose with a MIDI controller so that the root node can be changed on the fly. It also contains push mappings. So the MSII is a synth module with 2 oscillators, and you can choose either saw or pulse wave. Here you can see the synth, and it also has sub and noise oscillators, and frequency, resonance, envelopes, LFOs. It's pretty nice. It comes with a lot of presets as well. And then next we've got the Burbot Ron, which is a reverb, as the name already suggests. It uses the original gigaverb algorithm, G-verb in Audacity, and yeah, let's just check it out. It comes with presets as well. Here the visualization shows certain parameters if you change them. Or here the size, for example. It's all notated as well. A lot of the devices are notated, and there's also a default lesson where you can just click on the devices and learn more about all the parameters of it and how it works. Alright, so in the next track I have the kick and the simpler, and also the SQ8, but this time I've limited the length to just 2 notes. And let's turn it on and press play. Okay. And then to complete the MSII synthesizer system, there's also the quad. And the quad was inspired by the Oberheim 4-voice. So what the quad is basically 4 of the MSII synths stacked together. And they're sequentially played. But they can also be played in unison. But they can have their own key split, as you can see here. So each synth module could play a different octave or different octaves. So it's quite interesting because you can create very diverse synth sounds with that. So here, for example, you can see the LFO is set to sine, here to random, and here to square. So you can get different sounds and they're being played sequentially. So let's turn here the Concorde, which is another step sequence on. So here you can see it's going forwards and backwards through the different synth modules. As well, and a bit random. And so let's have a look at Concorde. That is a pulse-driven chord step sequencer that can have 8 or 16 steps. And each of the steps can also have 0 to 7 pulses. So 0 would be a pause. So in total, you can get up to 112 pulses, with meaning 112 MIDI notes. Of course, if you have a step set to a certain note and it has 7 pulses, the same note would be played. It's a very cool step sequencer, and it's called Concorde because it's not just a normal step sequencer, but you can also decide if some of the steps or all of the steps should play chords. So here you can set basically the root note, which can be reset to the default with the C again and randomized, and that's the same here as well. And here you can set which octave it should be, the velocity and the length. And in the second one, you can, as you can see on the left, it's also annotated. So basically, how should it be triggered or when? And then the division means that things could be triggered, for example, on the first pulse, and then the 4th and the 7th and so on, or, you know, different points in time, which means you can create even more interesting patterns that way. And here you can set the pulse count as well. So these are all set to just pulsing once, and the third here is set to play 5 times or have 5 pulses. And then it is also possible to set if the step should play a chord, and then which chord, which you can just select by going up and down. And you can just turn it on. Should the chord be played with the root note as the lowest note, which would be 0, or then you have the first, second, and I also add third inversions for all the chords that contain more than 3 notes. And then there's also a strum feature. So basically, if it's set to 0, the notes in the chord would be played all at once, so in unison. But the higher the strum setting, the further they're going to be spaced apart. So it sounds like strumming on a guitar. And then under extra, you also have the possibility to set the note scale again and smoothing. And you also have another option to set the value for a parameter that you can map it to anywhere in the live set. And as you can see, I've mapped it to the send B of the track. Right, so this is what we've got right now. And then the next device in the pack that I want to look at, I put on the master, and it's called Color. And Color is an audio effect that's It's really useful if you want to add the feel of analog media, so anything like vinyl or old VHS tapes or whatever. So I can just turn it on and just play it. So as you can see, you can add vinyl, so the vinyl sound. Also H, which can be used as a DJ filter as well, for example. And you can add wobble here. Or phasing, add drive, and you also have EQ filtering that you can set. And as you can see here, the dry wet parameter is mapped, and I've actually mapped that here to the SQ8. So I could change these as well if I want to have different settings to be played or set for the dry wet. Right, and then we have two delays that are definitely not your average delays. They're quite interesting. They sound very different from a usual delay. So the first one I have on the return track A, and it's called stochastic delay, and it's a delay with two independently driven delay lines that are governed by random probability. So you can set the resolution and delay unit, so you can either just draw in here, or you can also press these dice to randomly change them. You can set the tempo, you can have it synced or just your own. It has stereo width, smoothing, a filter section, a reverb section with 4 reverbs, and then dry, wet, and volume. And I'm going to turn that on now so you can hear it. And I think I'm going to solo this one, because this is the only one going to the return right now. And last but not least, we have the scram delay, which is really cool for glitchy stuff. It is a dual channel delay with modulated delay times. You can either use them connected or individually. And let me just turn this on and solo this one. So if you use ramp, you can get more random delays, and then you can also change the speed to be more randomly applied. So let's that's basically it. So the link for the pack is included in the description below. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you liked it. Bye!